So guys, today I am here to make a spooky books recommendation because we're in October and we all want to read something spooky in October. So yeah, let's just get into the video. Okay, so book number one is in Spanish, but it's The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. By the way, that's my dog. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. I'm not sure whether you can see her. I don't think you can, so let me just... Ay, qué bonita, qué guapa, qué pues. Okay, let's just get back to the video. I just got a little Okay, so The Girl on the Train. I read this book about 2 years ago, I think, and actually a friend gave it to me on Christmas, so it was a nice surprise. And this book is actually a movie, and I really enjoyed the movie as well. So okay, the book. It's about this woman who always goes to the train. This woman is obsessed with her ex-husband, like she's full on the toxic ex. She's obsessed with her ex-husband and she always goes to this train. She has a really just like depressing life, but then one day she sees something on this train. She sees this couple who is like the perfect couple, you know? Like she glimpses into the couple's life, and she thinks that they're perfect, that they're in love, that they're young. And she kind of like thinks like, oh, I could have been like that with my ex. But then one day she sees that the woman that she's been spying on is gone, is missing. And well, from there on, things just start getting interesting. Okay, book number two is Mystery by Stephen King. It's probably not surprised that I'm recommending Stephen King books here because he's like my favorite author and I'm obsessed with his work. But this book, Mystery, it's about this writer named Paul Sheldon. He writes these really famous books called Mystery Chastain, hence the title. And one day this crazy woman kidnaps him and she's like, I want you to write a book for me, and if you don't, then you're not getting out of here. So she's crazy. Like when I was reading this book, I was actually scared of her. Like I forgot that I was reading and I kind of just like saw the woman and I was just like, I felt like I was Paul, because she like tortures him both psychologically and physically, and it's just, I don't know, it's just scary and it's so good. So if you want to read something scary, something that probably gives you nightmares, then pick up Mystery by Stephen King. Okay, so the third recommendation is actually a Stephen King book, and this is The Shining. So probably you've heard of it because it's like a classic, but in case you haven't, or in case you haven't picked it up, The Shining is just a masterpiece. I actually read this book like a year ago, so it was a recent read for me, and I had never watched the movie, believe it or not, so I was just like new to the whole The Shining thing. So I read it because my brother recommended it to me, and oh my gosh, it was so good. It's all about this family who go to this hotel, but nothing is as it seems because this hotel is haunted and this hotel just makes you do things that you don't want to do. This hotel is just so creepy. Like I read this book at night on my room alone. Probably not the best idea, but it did scare me a lot. So I'm just gonna say that it scares a lot. Okay, the next book recommendation is gonna be Genuine Fraud by E. Lockhart. So this book is I think it's more on the suspense side than like horror, but it's still very scary. This book is about this girl who, okay, it's kind of hard to explain. So this book does not follow the traditional like timeline of books. This book goes from the end to the beginning. So let me just explain that. So we begin, for example, in December, and we go all the way back to January. To January? Yeah, so we have like a year. I am the worst at explaining this. Okay, so this book goes backwards in time. Yeah, that's the way. So we go backwards in time and we're kind of like figuring it all out because we have little information at the beginning. And this book is about 2 murders and we don't know who did it, why, what happened. So at the beginning you're kind of just like, you have no idea what's happening. But as you get further into the book and back in time, you start figuring out who was the murderer, why did he or she murder those people, and it's just kind of like a mystery book, and it's so good. I know it's like really tiny, but it's so good, and if you want something like a fast-paced book that keeps you on the edge of your seat, pick this up because it's so good. Okay, and the last book that I have is The Juror. This is actually a movie. I think it's a really old movie with like Demi Moore, and it's really good. This book is about this woman who becomes a juror for this really like scandalous case about some murders and like the mafia, and she very innocently goes to be a juror, but some people from the mafia start stalking her, and it's so good because now she cannot tell the truth in the juror. She just has to, she's like controlled by the mafia, and it's so good. So if you haven't picked it up, do it right now because it's so amazing. I'm not even lying, it's so good. Okay guys, so that's it for my book recommendations. I hope you liked it, and if you did, just be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe, and yeah.